We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on Monday, April 28th. Not the biggest schedule today. Obviously, it's a travel day for most squads, but we do have a good assortment of games today, obviously, with our Nationals Best Bet, with a NRFI, with a player prop, and 2 moneyline picks as well. So all of that here in this video, folks. And before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Later today, we will have our NBA predictions up with the 2 Game 4s being played today. Cavs versus Heat, Rockets versus Warriors. Make sure to check that out again in a couple hours here on the channel. And in the description down below, the link to our UFC Des Moines predictions. Over on Greedo Plays MMA, Corey Santagan versus Davison Figueiredo this week again from Des Moines, Iowa. And later today, we will have our PFL 4 predictions with Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis, taking on Rob Wilkinson over with the Professional Fighters League. That video is coming out later today. Make sure to subscribe over on Greedo Plays MMA. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so go help us out over there. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets for today. We start things off with our Washington Nationals best bet of the day, and I'm going James Wood over on 1.5 total bases. I think the Nationals will win today. I'm going to get that out the way, but I think this is even better. I feel more confident in this. James Wood's on fire. He leads the Nationals in not just home runs, but in RBI as well. He's tied with Nathaniel Lowe for 19 RBI, but at the same time, James Wood has 8 home runs to complement that, and he's batting .260 on the season. And why are we specifically choosing this game to unleash the James Wood player prop? It's because Griffin Canning is on the mound for New York, and it's a limited sample size, right, between Canning and Wood. But in the one game that James Wood has faced Griffin Canning, he went 2 for 3 with not just a home run, but a double and a home run. That's why we're going with James Wood today. I know, again, it's only 3 at-bats, so we can't claim ownage yet for James Wood, but I'm going to start to say this is going to go down that path, right? Okay, so Bryce Harper in his career had a pitcher he just owned, right? That was Jose Urania, right? Let's just say James Wood's Jose Urania is going to be Griffin Canning, okay? He's going to go off tonight. James Wood, the power and the launch angle from the left side of the plate is just immaculate, man. The guy is that damn good. I say it every single day, and that's why we're going with James Wood over on 1.5 total bases. Now, I think, we need, I've told you guys how enamored I am, but that might be the wrong word, but how hype I am for the big 3 in this Nationals lineup. I'm talking about, again, we say it all the time, Dylan Cruz, CJ Abrams, and James Wood. But I think what we need for the big 3 in DC is a nickname, right? We need something to, we can't just call them the big 3 in DC. We need something else. We need, how the NBA had their nickname renaissance this year? Hell, Jason Tatum, he's not the anomaly. He's the Green Gooner. Brendan Pojemski's the Pythagorean Theorem. We need an MLB nickname resurgence. Hell, look in the past, man. Big Poppy, David Ortiz, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. What are the nicknames now? I mean, we don't have nicknames in the MLB. So I think it's time. We need to all create a nickname for the big 3 in DC. Wood, Abrams, Cruz. Let's call them the Whack Attack. That's not great. Nah, we're gonna make that work. The Whack Attack, Wood, Abrams, Cruz, right? Like, I've been trying to get this nickname thing going for a while. Like, shout out to Christian Vaquero, who I once coined El Fenomeno like 3-4 years ago when he was like 17 years old. No, I was a minor then too, though. So, anyways, yeah, we're taking the Nationals. James Wood today. No, I think the Nats are easily going to win. I don't know about easily win this game, but I think it's a very favorable matchup for them. Again, you look at ESPN's, I hate looking at this because it doesn't, it's obviously never accurate. But the ESPN matchup predictor today is the Nationals at a 57% chance to win the game. The Mets at 43%, which obviously doesn't reflect the odds for this game. Mets minus 165, Nationals plus 140. So if you want to play the money line, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying I think that by far the best value today is James Wood over on total basis because I'm surprised this is at plus money too. Right? Nats money line can get a little concerning because Trevor Williams is pitching. Hell, the Nats bullpen has now gone, I believe it's either 8 or 10 consecutive innings without giving up a singular run, which is crazy considering the struggles we had early in the season. And by the way, I'm going to give a lot of credit to that, with that stat to Cole Henry and Jackson Rutledge. 2 guys who came in from AAA Rochester, 2 former starters, 2 guys who have dealt with injuries in the past and are really making their mark on the new squad or on the big league squad. I got to give a lot of credit to both of those guys. And help is on the way. Cade Cavalli makes a start over in AAA Rochester on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. He can potentially push Mike Soroka to the bullpen. We can get Cade Cavalli back in the starting rotation. Or hell, we could push, no, we can't push Trevor Williams to the bullpen because he throws an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. So that's why we're staying away from Nationals money line today. I think they can win. Hell, look at the comeback yesterday, right? I mean, that was the biggest lull Mets moment ever. Mets up 7-1. Nats find a way to come back and win. Shout out to Radams with the 3-run shot to get them within 1. And then the walk-off, obviously, Luis Garcia rolls over to first. Somehow they called that an error on the hit. That's what I'm talking about. I get it. It was an error. It was an overthrow for Alonso. That should have been a hit plus the throwing error, though, for Louis, but it is what it is. Great win for the Washington Nationals, though. This team's electric. I keep trying to say it, guys. 2 games under 500 now. Images, in the rearview mirror appear closer or farther than they may appear. Closer than they may. I forget how that works. Anyways, the Nats are coming, man. They're coming. And they're coming hard out after the Mets. I like the Nats a lot, but again, James Wood today, I think this is a great play. Over 1.5 total bases. He has 2 extra base knocks against Griffin Canning in the 3 times he's seen him so far, and all we got to rely on today is James Wood for our bet. Again, Nationals should be able to get this one done. I firmly believe that before they head to Philadelphia for a 3-game set, which I'm actually really excited for. But I think the best bet here, and this is why we're going with it, is James Wood over total bases. Wood over 1.5. Next up, we move to our second best bet of the day, and we go to Globe Life Field over in Arlington, Texas, the home of AEW All In this year, the Texas Rangers versus the Sacramento Athletics. I'm going Rangers money line here. The Rangers coming off of that just disgusting loss yesterday against the San Francisco Giants. Heliot Ramos taps the ball, maybe, 40 feet if that, and somehow he scores on a Little League home run because 2 errors were made on the final play of the game by the Rangers. I don't know how the Giants won. I mean, I think we got to start considering maybe some voodoo black magics going on with the Giants at this point. I just don't understand. You look at this team, they have 5 hits yesterday. They're not impressive at all, except for Jung-Hoo Lee, who's elite. And all of a sudden now they're 19-10 and have a better record than both the Dodgers and the Padres. How? How is this happening? Jordan Hicks has an ERA of 6. And they still won yesterday. Jack Leiter's been great all year. He wasn't great yesterday. I don't know. The Giants are just an odd bunch. I'm not going to lie. Regardless of that, we have Rangers versus A's today. So Texas returns home. Why am I playing the Rangers on Patrick Corbin bump day? Well, it's because we got burned last time we picked against Spider-Man Patrick Corbin. Yes, the guy is Spider-Man now. The last time the Rangers played the A's, it was the only game Texas won in Sacramento at Sutter Health Field or Sutter Health Park. Patrick Corbin goes 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. All of a sudden, this guy leaves the nation's capital, and he realizes how to pitch a baseball again. Great. I'm good. I'm happy for bro. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I say this all the time. The Nationals don't win in 2019 without Patrick Corbin on the bump. Okay, or pitching at least, and coming out the bullpen in Game 7 of the World Series, right, to get that to Daniel Hudson in the 9th, and be that bridge from Scherzer to Huddy. Regardless, though, the A's struggled against Corbin. They just did. The home run ball was there. Lawrence Butler swung on a 3-0 pitch, if I'm not mistaken. I know I'm not. In the bottom of the 3rd, Lawrence Butler, he takes advantage of the count. Butler's got him basically 3-0. Corbin throws a center fastball, and Lawrence Butler just blasts it in deep center field. Same thing with Miguel Andujar. I think that was a 2-1 pitch that Corbin threw against Andujar, and he just pulled it in the left center. But with the exception of those 2 pitches, Corbin got out of a lot of jams against the A's. Yeah, there was movement on the base paths, but the Athletics just couldn't do anything against Corbin when it really mattered. And yeah, Corbin gave up the long ball, which is something that he really struggled with in DC, but I say it all the time, solo home runs are not going to kill you. And that's really the definition of what happened in that Rangers-A's game last week. So same game, it's just now in Arlington. Different pitcher tonight, though, for the A's against Patrick Corbin instead of Osvaldo Bido, who kept throwing fastballs right down the middle against the Rangers. It will be JP Sears, right? The lefty's going to get the start tonight, 3.21 ERA in the season. Sears has been good. He's been serviceable. I'm not going to deny that. I just think the Rangers being at home win this game, and honestly, I think Patrick Corbin's been very good this season so far, comparatively speaking to what Patrick Corbin has been. The Rangers need to get it going with their bats. Again, Jock Peterson's still batting 3rd. He did have 2 hits against his former team in San Francisco, but this is just ridiculous. The guy's still batting 101. I know they're still without Corey Seager for the time being. we'll see. I think they're kind of heating up. They had 10 hits yesterday against the Giants, but it was to no avail as they still lost the game and they had 3 errors in their own right. I like the Rangers today, though. I think they're able to win this game at -110. We get even odds, and really I think the odds are only even. The only reason the odds are even is because Vegas is looking at, Patrick Corbin's pitching. But hear me out, guys. We got burned on this firsthand last week. Patrick Corbin's actually not that bad anymore. I don't know. Maybe, again, this is just fool's gold. It 100% could be. But I actually really like the Rangers here. They're at home. The A's surprisingly struggled a lot with the White Sox. Yeah, they won the series 2-1. Luis Urias had the walk-off home run yesterday, and Mason Miller gave up 2 runs on Friday before eventually closing out the save. But 2 closer games than you would have liked for the Athletics. Again, they win the series, and now they're back at 500 at 14-14. But I think the Rangers are going to send them back below 500 with a victory tonight. I'm going with the Texas Rangers at home, and Patrick Corbin's Spider-Man. Girl took me for Spider-Man. Girl took me for Superman. No, Superman, Spider-Man. Regardless, give me the Rangers to win the game at -110. Next up, another moneyline play, Tigers Astros. We said it yesterday, the Tigers are elite, and the Tigers are a legitimate threat to win the American League this season. They have the best record in the entire conference, and they have the 3rd best record in all of baseball, only behind the New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants. But after tonight, they are going to have the best record in the MLB because the Mets are going to lose. Anyways, and the Giants don't play. So regardless, Tigers versus Astros today. I like this for the Tigers. I really do. This is a team on a 4-game winning streak now. They win that series, in Detroit against San Diego, though. They win 2 of 3. They get that O series. They sweep the Orioles. Shout out to Tarek Skubal and the Tigers for coming through for us yesterday with the Nerfy 7-0 victory for Skubal. He goes 6 innings and 11 strikeouts. Yes, the guy is a top 5 pitcher in the game, and he's probably not 5 or 4. Let's just be honest. The Tigers are really good. I say it all the time. Their bats have always been the thing with this team. It's like, how far can they go with this lineup? I think pretty far. They've just got a lot of good guys in this lineup. Again, it's nobody that's going to blow your socks off in terms of name value. I mean, I think their biggest name in this lineup is by far Gleyber Torres, but everyone does their job here. Kerry Carpenter, Gleyber Torres, Zach McKinstry, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, right? Javier Baez has surprisingly been very good for this team. He's batting .301 this year. Sure, he doesn't hit every single game, right? But they pick their spots with Javi. But he had a 2-run double in the 2nd inning yesterday. That was the first runs of that game and really broke through for the scoring. So the Tigers continue to hit. They continue to pitch really well. And tonight on the mound, they get Jack Flaherty, another really good pitcher in this rotation. Hell, there are no days off with this Tigers starting rotation. There just aren't. Jack Flaherty was a really good pitcher for the world champion Dodgers last season. He's now on the Tigers. He's a 2.63 ERA, and the guy's been elite. There's great swing and miss stuff out of Flaherty. And again, by the way, with Detroit, guys, this team lost their first 3 games of the season. In the next 25, they're 18-7. This team is really good. They have the highest plus-minus in differential in the MLB right now at +42. And yes, that includes, I guess it's tied with the Yankees, who had the torpedo bat, of course, explosion in the first series of the year against the Milwaukee Brewers. So I like the Tigers in this spot. They have excellent pitching, and their bats have continued to come through for them. And it's going to be Ronel Blanco on the mound tonight for Houston. 5.01 ERA. He's been hit up pretty much in every single start he's had. I think his last start was by far his best. Home start for him against the Toronto Blue Jays. He goes 6 2/3 innings in that game, 2 hits and 1 run. Good start for Blanco. He is primarily a pitch-to-contact guy, though. And when the Tigers put the ball in play, good things happen to them, right? They won the wild card round in Houston last year. It's the first time these two teams have met since the wild card round in Houston. And I think the Tigers get the better of them. I like the pitching matchup tonight for Detroit with Jack Flaherty in the mound, and I like the bats all around better out of Detroit too. I haven't talked much about Houston Astros baseball this season, primarily because there's not much to talk about. They're a middling team in the AL right now. I really don't think they are a playoff squad. I'm just going to be honest. I think the new kings in the AL are probably the Rangers, maybe the A's. But the reason we really haven't talked about them is just because nothing's really going on. Like, we're still waiting on Yordan. We're still waiting on Christian Walker to really come through. it's just kind of just a team, and they're kind of lackluster right now. So I expect Jack Flaherty, who is a very good pitcher, who somehow is not even the best pitcher on his own team because Tarek Skubal is here, to really dominate this lineup. I believe the Astros, I think they won yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. They won 7-3, still lost that series against Kansas City 2-1, obviously. Due for some regression. I don't think the Astros put up back-to-back 7-run games the way that lineup's been hitting all year long. And on top of that, with a pitcher of the caliber of Jack Flaherty, they're not going to score that many runs tonight. I'm going with the Detroit Tigers money line here. I think this is an absolute steal, especially with Ronel Blanco pitching for Houston. Again, the Tigers are slight favorites. We're going to go with that minus 115 for Detroit here on the road in Houston against the Astros. To our next bet, and we go to our YRFI. Actually, no. Going with our yes runs scored in the first inning. YRFI? Ooh. We're going with a YRFI today. I've never done this. We've done about like 30-ish best bets videos already this year for the MLB, and we certainly have at least 160 more to go. Not complaining. But yeah, we're going yes run scored in the first inning. Here's why, guys. I couldn't honestly give you a good YRFI for today. Out the remaining games, Twins Cleveland is Bailey Ober, Gavin Williams on the mound. I'm all right. Bailey Ober kind of gets hit around. Yankees Orioles is Will Warren versus Tomoyuki Sugano. That's probably the closest one I got to, but it's like, all right, Will Warren's not a sure thing, and Sugano is a pitch-to-contact guy against the best hitter in the game in Aaron Judge, who hit, by the way, our player prop yesterday. I'm going to stay away. Andre Payante versus Nick Martinez is the Reds-Cardinals game. Well, Nick Martinez is a 5.4 ERA. Payante hasn't been great either this year. Don't like it. The other game we had was, we're going to talk about the Dodgers and Marlins next. So, yeah, that's kind of it. I thought about Houston, Detroit, but the odds just weren't great. So I decided, all right, our best look today is going to be yes runs scored in the first inning here at Coors Field in Colorado. Bryce Elder and Ryan Feltner pitching today. Again, we're taking a run scored in the first. Ryan Feltner's probably been the best pitcher for the Rockies this season. I think so. ERA is the lowest, 3.86. Again, it's always hard for starting pitchers to pitch in Colorado. You know that, obviously, with the elevation and because how the ball flies out there. Feltner's done a decent job, primarily because he's pitched a lot away from Colorado so far this year. But, I mean, with the exception of that Dodgers start, he's been pretty solid. Hell, his last start against the Kansas City Royals, the Rockies still lost this game. But anyways, he goes 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 home run, right? So, I mean, with the exception of a solo home run in 7 innings, Ryan Feltner was really good for Colorado. I'm going to give the guy credit there. But, I think the Braves bats are back for as cold as they started. They're only 3 games under 500 now. They are a horrible road baseball team, though. But regardless, right, the bats are finally getting going. Verdugo's hitting the ball really well. 4 hits yesterday. He went 4 for 4 against the D-backs. Austin Riley has the average up. Marcell Ozuna. So Ozuna from the Braves is batting .316. Matt Olson kind of still struggling. Same with Ozzy Albies. But still, I mean, that top of that order, man, and that's who we're going to get with the, first inning, Verdugo, Riley, Olson. These guys have been teeing off recently. So I like that a lot. For the Rockies, I don't love their possibility of scoring in the first inning. We are really banking on the fact that we think the Braves are going to be able to score on Ryan Feltner. But at the same time, hear me out, Bryce Elder hasn't been good this season. He hasn't. Walks are up. He's going to give up hits. And he's really struggled with the long ball, too. His last start was his best against the Cardinals. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. But the games before that, he has gotten blasted. Now, I know, it's hard to say, I think the Rockies are going to score in the first inning. However, if there's an inning where they're going to score, it's likely going to be the first because of the guys who are at the top of this lineup. I'm looking at Brenton Doyle, right? Doyle's a very good hitter. A guy like Beck in the 2, I mean, Jordan Beck's all right. He's got some pop from the right side of the plate at times. You look at Hunter Goodman, who hits the ball hard, depending on where that is. If it's, 20 feet foul, Hunter Goodman's going to hit the ball hard. And Michael Taglia, if it gets to Taglia and we haven't scored, we have a problem, I'm going to be honest. Kyle Farmer can swing it sometimes. Yeah, I mean, it's really, this is coming with Doyle and Beck, really, for us here. But regardless, I think the play is likely with Feltner giving up a run. But at the same time, right, like Bryce Elder is going to give up, he's going to walk guys, and he's going to give up the long ball. That's usually not a recipe for success at Coors Field. So I think there's a really great possibility for a run to be scored here in the first inning, and obviously the odds reflect that. Yes, run scored in the first inning is minus 140, which is crazy odds for a first inning under over runs. I am going to go with it, though. I think, again, it's the best play, all things considered today. I'm not forcing a play here. I just think, again, we do this every single day with the, run scored in the first. I thought might as well switch it up here. I just don't like anything else in the slate today. I think there's a better chance that either the Braves, likely the Braves, but either Atlanta or Colorado score in the first inning at Coors Field. You know how these games work. The ball flies. And I think someone's going to jack one out. If I had to guess, I'd probably go Marcell Ozuna. He's a very competent hitter at the plate, obviously. I'm going to say Marcell Ozuna likely does it here. Either, again, Verdugo's on second and Ozuna knocks him in, or Ozuna from the Braves hits a ball out. I'm taking Atlanta and Colorado on the yes run scored in the first inning against both Bryce Elder and Ryan Feltner on the mound. Okay, final best bet of the day. Let's go to Chavez Ravine for our best player prop. We are not picking against Edward Cabrera again. Okay, we did it the first time. Not doing it again. Oddly enough, guys, I'm not telling you to bet this, but oddly enough, I think there's great value in Marlins money line tonight. If you also play that with the run line for Miami, it's plus 2.5, minus 120. If you even that out a little bit, work your units. I think there's there's a decent shot they can actually win tonight because Edward Cabrera on the mound, and also because Dustin May's pitching for the Dodgers. And now, again, Dustin May's good. We know he is. But May can give up big runs, as we saw in his last game in that thriller in Chicago. Dustin May gave up 7 runs on 10 hits in 5 innings against Chicago, right? And there's potential for Dustin May to kind of get blown up a little bit. So I really don't mind this play. And by the way, again, the Dodgers pitching rotation is just screwed right now. Glasnow goes out with injury. Blake Snell's been shut down for the foreseeable future. We talked about for a while, they really don't need Ohtani because they're so loaded. It's getting to the point where they might actually need Ohtani to pitch. Sure, again, they keep going to Landon Knack and all these, and Gavin Stone or whatnot. They might need Ohtani back. I don't know. Again, they're that great, obviously, but I mean, they start out Sasaki, Yamamoto, May, and then again, I don't know who the hell the two guys are going to bring up. I'm assuming Stone and Knack, I'm not going to lie. But I mean, Knack hasn't been that good this year, so bring on Shohei Ohtani is all I'm thinking, right? Anyways, we'll see what happens there. The play here is Edward Cabrera over on strikeouts. Don't let the 6.14 ERA fool you. That start against the Reds when we bet against him was phenomenal. He was really good in that game. 7 strikeouts, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. That'll play. I think Edward Cabrera, right? He's always had the movement. He's always had the stuff and the velo too. I mean, I think, again, the first thing you think of about Edward Cabrera is his nasty Diamond Dynasty card and what MLB The Show 22, I think. That card is unhittable. It's ridiculous. But regardless, right? Like, Edward Cabrera, he's not what he was in the video game, obviously, a couple years ago. But the guy still has some good stuff. And we've seen that so far this year. That Cincinnati start was his best start of the season. The Nats start, I think, was pretty good too. Got to see that, obviously, against my favorite team. He goes 5 2/3, gives up 2 runs on 4 hits, 3 walks, and the walks are always kind of a concern with Cabrera. He doesn't always entirely know where he's throwing the baseball, I feel like. But the hook, man, that the breaking stuff that he has is really great, and the velo is still there with the fastball as well. I think he's gonna get 6 strikeouts against the Dodgers. I know, again, this is a great lineup. But the thing is, okay, the Dodgers can still hit the ball hard at Edward Cabrera. They can still put a lot of guys at the plate, and Cabrera can still get his strikeouts here. He can, right? For as great of a hitter as Shohei Ohtani is, he's going to strike out, right? I mean, Ohtani yesterday goes 2 for 4. 2 outs that he had were strikeouts. And yeah, the Dodgers only struck out 3 times in the entire 9-inning game yesterday against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're due for some regression, okay? I'm taking Edward Cabrera. This is a really good starting pitcher with, again, potential. And also, again, right, Bailey Falter, who is pitching for Pittsburgh. Don't let that only 3 strikeouts in the entire game for the Dodgers confuse you. Bailey Falter's a pitch-to-contact guy. He just is, right? I mean, I witnessed him pitch against the Nationals. That guy went 7 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. He struck out 2 batters in those 7 innings, right? So, don't let the low strikeouts confuse you. That's just how Bailey Falter and kind of this, that Pirates bullpen pitches, especially with Bednar still being their closer. I think, again, it's a very different matchup here for the Dodgers against Edward Cabrera. Again, I don't mind the money line, the run line. I wouldn't take it personally, but again, if you want to play something for this game in terms of other than Cabrera, I do that. But the best bet for this game in Los Angeles, California is undoubtedly Edward Cabrera over 5.5 strikeouts. 3 games so far this season, 18 Ks. 5 in his first against the Nationals, 6 in 4 innings against the D-backs, and 7 in 5 innings in his last start against Cincinnati. We've learned our lesson from our last time picking actually against Edward Cabrera. So we're going with Cabrera over 5.5 strikeouts today in the nightcap here in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. So folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for April 28th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more, and make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets, and make sure to join us in a couple hours here on the channel as well for our NBA playoff predictions, Heat, Cavs, and Rockets and Warriors. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more at Mamba Forever.